together with the honorable guests. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. We will begin the meeting in a few minutes. I would like to request our esteemed guests to kindly put their phones in silent mode to maintain the decorum of the meeting. Thank you. A very good morning to our guests of honor. Yang berbahagia, Mr. Charles Santiago, Co-Chairman, ASEAN Parliamentarian for Human Rights, Mr. Entamizh President of KLSICCI, Mr. Prabhakaran Vaidilingam, Deputy President of KLSICCI, Mr. Selangor, Vice President of KLSICCI, Ms. Morgana Chinetambi, Honorary Secretary General of KLSICCI, Mr. Tony Clifford Thomas, Assistant Honorary Secretary General of KLSICCI, Management Council members of KLSICCI, trustees, advisors, past presidents and past deputy presidents of KLSICCI, senior members, working committees, life members and esteemed members of KLSICCI. Ladies and gentlemen, first I would like to thank everyone in this hall for allocating your time to attend the 96th General Meeting of the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I am Dayala Vishnu Govindasamy, the Master of Ceremony for today. Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin today's proceedings, let us first honor our nation. May I kindly invite everyone in the hall to rise for the singing of National Anthem, Negaraku. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may now be seated. Let us now proceed with the rest of the agenda for the 96th General Meeting of the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Chamber of Commerce and Industry. To commence today's meeting, it is our privilege to invite Mr. Entamizh, President of Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to deliver the welcome speech.
Good morning. Welcome to YB, Mr. Charles Santiago, YB Young Barusaha, formerly the Member of Parliament for Klang, and also currently the co-chairman for ASEAN Parliamentarian for Human Rights, APHR. Welcome, YB, to our annual general meeting, 96th annual general meeting. And also our former President, Mr. Adol, our former Deputy Presidents, Dr. P. Entamizh, Mr. Suresh Gorisha, Mr. Dhanabala, Dr. Ramesh Kodamal, our senior members, Mr. Max Lau, there is anybody, Mr. N.P. Raman, our trustees, and then our ESCO Deputy President, Mr. Prabha Vaidyanathan, our Vice President, Mr. Pandit, our Secretary General, Ms. Morgana Chinadambi, our Assistant Secretary General, Mr. Tony Clifford, our Honorary Treasurer, Mr. Salvaraj, my esteemed council members, senior members, working committee members, as well as our live members, and all members who are present here today. Welcome to KLSICCI's 96th Annual General Meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome all of you here, especially YB, Young Barusaha, Mr. Charles Santiago. I told him this now. If he came last year during the election, he would have seen a lot of funfair during the elections. So it will be not like a party election, like general election maybe. So this year it's just kind of moderate mood. And YB, I thank you a lot for coming today, because it gives us an immense inspiration on your credibility, your integrity, and also on your contribution to the nation for 3 terms as the Member of Parliament, and also your contribution currently in the Selangor Indian Consultative Council, which I am part of it. And ladies and gentlemen, today we are 97 years in existence. Welcome, Dr. Ramanathan, our 2-term president. Please have a seat. As mentioned, in 97 years of existence, the chamber today is built solidly through the hard work of our predecessors over the 97 years. We are lucky because it's a solid platform that has been built for us to serve sustainably with a good assets, a good strength of membership, and a good reputation of the chamber. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2022, we established Mission 2026, which is a vision of being the forefront in building and transforming a vibrant and dynamic Indian business. Mission is to guide efforts to empower, facilitate, upscale, modernize, digitalize, and capitalize upskill and network of Indian businesses across diverse industries. This year, we have taken one step advance in transformational on digital transformation for SMEs, MSMEs, by working closely with the Digital Ministry through its Business Digitalization Initiative. We have taken great significant strides in championing digital transformation for the micro, small, and medium enterprises in collaboration with the Digital Ministry and its lead agency, Malaysian Digital Economic Corporation, or MDEC. This initiative aims at equipping MSMEs with cutting-edge digital tools, including artificial intelligence solutions, e-invoicing platforms, and access to digital financing. Such efforts are pivotal in enhancing productivity, competitiveness, and resilience in today's rapidly evolving digital economy. On a global partnership, we have had a lot of bilateral and trade relationship with the Chambers of Commerce in India, and we extend our horizon up to East Africa, where we have a memorandum of understanding with the Kenyan National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and we have given an exposure of opportunities for our members to have trade, because SMEs today contribute at least 20% of the GDP of the nation, and we want more Indian businesses to involve and get into the export market. And we are working closely with the Malaysian Trade External Trade Agency, which is called MATRADE, under the Ministry of International Trade and Industry, to spur our Indian SMEs to work closely to go to greater heights. In terms of national affiliation, for your good information, 3 years ago, we have set a path to be affiliated with the Federation of Malaysian Business Association, or FMBA, which has up to 200 business organizations, which consists of at least 700 MSMEs. It is under the guidance of Dato Sri Abdul Malik Abdullah. KLSICCI holds a vice chairmanship in these organizations and play a pivotal role by addressing the voice of the industry, especially on issues impacting the industries. And we engage the government, we sit and discuss on policy matters, we address on budgetary issues, and also we address on any pressing matters that that impacts the industry. So through FMBA, KLSICCI has played a pivotal role where we have managed to ensure that issues that impacting the industries have been addressed. So KLSICCI has grown to national level, where we are today playing an important role, and this will continue hereafter, because FMBA is a platform that today it represents a greater voice of the industry. Besides that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored also to be appointed as the ASEAN India Business Council alternate chair. Recently, the appointment by the Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, YB Dato Sri Tengku Zafro. This underscores KLSICCI's growing influence and also our potential to play a pivotal role in regional economic integration. We are committed to leveraging this platform to advocate policies that benefit our members and to facilitate greater collaboration between ASEAN and Indian businesses. If you can see, from being just a state chamber, we have grown to a national level, we have gone to regional level, where we want to play an important role. We want more opportunities to be tapped regionally, because ASEAN itself is a very good market for our businesses to penetrate. In next 1 year, or within this year, where Malaysia actually hosts the ASEAN Summit, we want to ensure that a lot of opportunities is open up for our participation of Indian businesses. That's our intention here. On another aspect, ladies and gentlemen, KLSICCI today, the strength of our membership, recently we just did some restructuring. We have at least about 800 plus membership, and we are looking forward to grow more. We have expanded our accessibility through social media, through our lot of works, and we notice today, for past couple of years, what we have done is we are doing multiple programs that target the startups, small, micro, medium, and large enterprises. These programs are to create awareness, to disseminate the information that is entailed in the budget 2025 this year, from what that was submitted to the government last year. Based on engagement from all stakeholders, we engaged the Ministry of Finance, and whatever that we have submitted, a certain percent was adopted. And this year, what we are doing aggressively, organizing a lot of programs to ensure our businesses, especially our members, get access to all these assistance like grants, loans, capacity building programs. So, I would like to bring to your attention that we are looking forward to engage more members to ensure you participate, more non-members from the Indian business community to participate, and also, for good information, I would like to highlight here, a lot of our programs today are attended by non-Indian businesses. This is where we have achieved a success, because we are being recognized by the other business community. We are being addressed that we are doing a lot of programs, and we are actively engaging the SME community to assist and facilitate and upskill them. And I think based on this, hopefully more Indian community become our members, more Indian community participate in our programs and benefit themselves and bring their businesses to greater level. On my last note, KLSICCI, as I mentioned earlier, has been 97 years this year. It's my last council meeting. I've actually proposed to my council and we have decided to organize the 97 years anniversary and business awards next year, first quarter. The last meeting was under the leadership of Dr. Ramanathan in 2019, 90th anniversary then, and it was like 7 years later. We are doing the next one. It's going to be involving all the members. We want them to participate. We want all our council, ESCO, and we want the Indian business community to celebrate our 97 years of existence, our 97 years of success, our 97 years of accomplishments for the business community. And God willing, I've got a confirmation from the Prime Minister's office to invite Yang Berhormat Prime Minister Dr. Sri Anwar Ibrahim for this function as a guest of honor. And I'm proud to announce here today, upon informing my council in my last meeting, that we have unanimously agreed to appoint our Deputy President as the organizing chairman for this 97th anniversary. Lastly, I extend my heartfelt appreciation to my dedicated ESCOs, council and working committees, industry representatives, district liaisons, esteemed members, secretary and staffs, and strategic partner for their unwavering support and commitment that has been instrumental in our accomplishment for the past 1 year and previous years. Together, we will continue to steer KLSICCI towards greater heights, fostering innovation, inclusivity, and prosperity within our business. On my last note, let me address just one personal thing regarding YB Charles. We have worked closely in the Selangor Indian Consulting Council, which was appointed by the Menteri Besar Pahang. We're talking about Pahang. So, just to tell you why we invite YB. Without opposition, he's highly respected. We missed the best minister that we could have in the cabinet, and we had one of the best parliamentarians in the ASEAN region, and on par with Singapore parliamentarians. If you want to see the videos and all. And today, without you in the parliament, we don't see anybody top notch as intelligent addressing issues this YB. On that note, I would like to get our members today give you a round of applause for the contribution that you have contributed 3 terms as an MP of Penang. You were talking about Penang. I want to thank, and as the chairperson of the Selangor Indian Consulting Council, thank you for your contribution, YB. And our work has not stopped there. The council continues, even though he was not re-elected as the member of Parliament of Fact. We still continue working. We still addressing issues to the Prime Minister's office, to the Menteri Besar's office. And one personal thing, during the Selangor election 2-3 years ago, we were engaging and discussing with the Menteri Besar on all our key points for the Indian community. I have personally seen, without any self-interest or with full of selflessness, YB and another YB, maybe YB Gunaraj and YB Charles, practically begging the Menteri Besar to do something for us. And what he has done? Nothing much to do. That is the fact. So one day serve the community. Thank you very much. And a chamber of commerce is not merely an organization, it is the beating heart of a community's economic aspirations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nivas Raghavan. Next, with great respect and honor, I invite our guest of honor, Yang Berbahagia, Mr. Charles Santiago, to address the esteemed entrepreneurs present this morning.
How are you this morning? Folks, how are you this morning? Yes? Ready to go? Yeah? The breakfast was good, though, which means that you have to be a bit excited. Let me just say thank you to Sir Nivas, the President of Selangor Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, for this kind invitation. And also my regards and solidarity to all the Executive Council members, Dr. Dato, constituents, and friends. I bring you greetings of peace and solidarity. Let me just begin by posing a problem. Somewhere. Okay. Let me just begin by posing a problem. And a problem that was actually posed in 1776. 1776. This problem was posed by no other than the philosopher Adam Smith. Adam Smith asked a very important question in the book called The Wealth of Nations. I'm sure those who studied economics would know about The Wealth of Nations. It's one of the most important books that you have to study if you're interested, even to understand business, finance, as well as just general understanding of the world. The book is called The Wealth of Nations. And welcome. So the question that he asked is, why are some nations rich and why are some nations poor? Let me repeat the question. Why are some nations rich and why are some nations poor? This is the question that he has raised. So you look at a country like Japan, what resources do they have? So look where they are. Look at Singapore. What resources does Singapore have? But look at where Singapore is right now. Singapore was at the par with Malaysia at one was below Malaysia at one point. Now they are far ahead of Malaysia. In fact, they're the leaders of organizations. So the question then is, why are some nations poor and why are some nations rich? Now, if you read the book, it's a very thick book, but I encourage you to read it because there's a certain logic to the thinking of Adam Smith. And he says, countries that are organized to make profits are rich. That's the key. Countries that are organized to make profits are successful. Whereas countries, even though you have all the resources in the world, but not organized to make profits, then you will not be successful. So, in 1776, he posed a question. And really, there are many books that have interpreted at different times and so on and so forth on the question of, is Malaysia organized to make profits? And more importantly, is your organization or are the Indian community in this country organized to make profits? That is the question I want to pose to you. Is the Indian community in this country organized to make profits? What do you think? Yes, no? Yes, we are organized to make profits. I can hear some of the sun going like that, some saying like that. So which is which? 50-50. Okay. Now, how do you measure profit? How do you measure that you're doing well? The Indian equity in Malaysia is only 1.3%. 1.3%. Is that success? 1.3%. And if you look very carefully, that 1.3% will be controlled by 3 or 4 people. That's the reality of it. So basically to tell you that the Indian community is not organized to make profits. That's the bottom line. That is the bottom line. Today, our dropout rate, Indian dropout rate is 60%. 60% of our Indian boys and girls are dropping out at SPM. Just scary. After 10 years, after 8 years of study, 6 plus 5, 11 years of study, you drop out of the system. You drop out of the system. 11 years. This is very scary, which means that out of every 10 students who are studying, 6 of them are dropouts, and they are people that will not have skills going forward. Is this a society that is organized to make profits? Yes? So therefore, this is a challenge to us. This is a challenge to us to start thinking about how do we organize the Indian Malaysian community that we can now effectively compete with the Chinese, Malays, and other foreigners who are investing in this. And we really have to put our mind to this. We really have to put our mind to this. Now, in conjunction with this, if you look at other chambers of commerce, whether in Malaysia or elsewhere, they have a research department. They have a research department which actually tells them this is where the new businesses are coming. This is where the new businesses are going. This is the future direction. So one of them would be green technology. Not many Indians are involved in the green technology. Solar panels and so on and so forth. Not many Indians are involved in solar panels. And not many of Indians are also involved in the digitalization process. Although there's a lot of hot talk about artificial intelligence and so on, this is not easy. This is not easy to become, your cybersecurity person. This requires work. This requires work. This requires capacity. Which means to say that our business associations should now take the lead to create that capacity to push the community and the business community forward. So therefore, we need to start up a research center within the business community. So therefore, the KLSICCI Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, should look at setting up a research team within the association that can work with academia, that can work with others in order to advise its members exactly on how to go, where to go, what are the new developments, what are the new industries that we should be looking at. So research is really quite important. Number two, putting money together in developing new products and processes. New products and processes. This is something that we have to look at. I looked at the one in Japan. I looked at some of the examples in other countries where the chambers themselves push for new products, push for new processes, and it starts internally. It's endogenous. It's internal. It's not exogenous, it's internal. So you drive the change. You drive the change. So I think one of the things that we have to do as a society that is organized to make profits, one, we have to look at digitalization in a very big way. And number two, we have to look at the green economy or the green technology, solar panels and others and so on and so forth. I see a lot of Malay groups going in, I see a lot of Chinese groups going in, I see a lot of foreigners going into these areas, but very, very few Indians looking at the issue of solar panels and so on and so forth. So I think we need a new mindset. We need a new mindset, a new competitive mindset that actually can move the community from where we are, from 1.3%, at least 2% or 3% in the next 4-5 years. I think this is the first point I want to bring to that. The second point is this. Many years ago, we Indians were 10% of the population. Today, we are 6.1% of the population. 6.1% of the population. In another 5 years, at the end of the 13 Malaysia plan, we will become 5%. 5%. 5.1, 5.2, but closer to 5%. The question is, do we want to become a 5% that is strong, or do we want to become a 5% that is vulnerable and weak? This is the question that the business community has to ask itself. And I say that because it is you who can lead the change. It is you who actually can say, yes, we can be 5%, but we'll be a strong 5%. Yes? Strong 5%. But if you're a weak 5%, we will be completely wiped out on the map of this country. So my friends, this is, take it as a friendly warning that this is a challenge to us, whether we want to be a 5% strong or 5% weak. I'm going to use an example, but this is not the best example in the world. You take the Jewish community in the United States. What they're doing in Palestine is really not acceptable, but never mind. We just use the example. Only 2% of the population. But they are structured in such a way they can control the foreign affairs and other policies of the government, of the US. Only 2%. But look where they are. So why are we not doing that? Why are we not actually moving in that area? Why are we not moving in that direction so that we too can be 2% but strong? Yes? Yeah? That's a good example how other countries have done it and why we also can do it. Of course, we have legacy issues, we have historical issues, we have all kinds of issues. But we can always talk about it, but nothing will happen. It is time to change. It is time we think differently. It's time to put a different cap in the way we organize ourselves. Now, one of the challenges going forward in Malaysia would be something I think a new platform economy that is coming today. Today, bulk of our sales is taking place over social media. You are familiar with that, you do it, and so on and so forth. But where are the Indians on social media? Where are the Indians on social media? Okay. For example, in 2023, 17 million Malaysians were involved or have some kind of a TikTok account. 17 million in 2023. In 2024, we had 28.6 million Malaysians who have a TikTok account. Our population is only 32, 33 million. But 28.6 million have TikTok. Maybe some have other accounts, 3 accounts, and so on and so forth. Now, TikTok is going with it's a huge platform economy, part of the platform economy, along with other social media. But in the next 5 years, next 4 years, the sales on TikTok will be about 80%. About 80%. 80%. Now, are we prepared for that world? Or are we preparing for that world? Where TikTok is going to become the most important platform where people are going to buy and sell. Remember the question I posed, are we organized to make profits? TikTok is one way we can organize yourself and our families, our friends, our children to make profit, especially around people. Now, at this time, the sales on a monthly basis is only about $4 million in Malaysia. But I think this number is not very correct. I looked at the statistics, but it says 4 million. But I think it's far much more higher number. But you can be assured, if it is 80% of all sales that will take place over TikTok, then TikTok will become huge. The question is, are you prepared? Or are you preparing yourself for that world? And here, I want to give you, the Gen Z in 2023. These are people between 19 and 25 years. 35%. So means Gen Z in 2023, between 19 to 25 years of age, 35% have got TikTok accounts. It means they are exposed to TikTok. And millennial group, 26 to 32 years of age, 29% are on TikTok. Now, on TikTok, once you, how many of you are on TikTok? How many of you are on TikTok? And so once you go into TikTok, I like the one, the lady in front of the back. You know why? Once you go into TikTok, you'll take 3 hours, 4 hours. And some people actually spend about 6 hours a day on TikTok. We go to school 8 hours, right? Roughly 6, 7 or 8 hours. But TikTok is 6 hours. So who's your teacher? TikTok. So if you want to be organized to make profits, then you have to embrace the latest technology over TikTok. So therefore, we need to prepare. We need to train. Where the thing is already there, we are also there, not waiting to happen. Right? I give you a good example on TikTok. How many of you are familiar with this thing called Selangor? Selangor. Okay, some of you are familiar with Selangor. Selangor comes from the Himalayan mountains. It's of course in other parts of India. It's an Indian product. It's an Indian product, right? It's good for vitality, energy, whatever. But guess who's selling it on TikTok today? Who is selling it on TikTok today? Or guess what you know? Huh? Malays. Yeah. How come you are supposed to be Indian, you got friends in India, you got relations in India, and you can India go play for the but how come the Malays are selling TikTok and you have no idea what celebrity is about? So how do you then organize yourself to make profits? Right? So it means we have to embrace technology. We have probably embraced technology. We must be on top of technology. We have to be on top of technology. So my friends, I think what is really quite important for us is to embrace digitalization, embrace the platform economy. And that platform economy is the new form of doing exchange between buyers and sellers. Buyers and sellers. So it is this technology that is actually going to make you move from 1.3 to 2 or to 5 or 3 or 4%, or whether you don't embrace it, you'll be stuck to 1.3 or less. Now, therefore, we have to make a decision as a community, and I think generally that we have a sense that we want to move forward, otherwise you folks will not be here this morning. Okay? Now, let me just share with you what we are doing as part of SICC that Nivas just raised earlier. We are running now TikTok programs across the country. We just started it recently, and we have done so far. And today will be the third. Today will be the third program that we are doing, the TikTok program. And this far, we have trained 100 people on TikTok. 100. This is the last 2 months on TikTok. 100 people on TikTok. And we are going to do something else as well. The first session is 101, call it 100. Then they will do 101, that means more specialization. 102, more specialization. 103, more specialization. And once they finish 103, they are professionals. That means they can go and sell coconuts to monkeys. You see what I'm saying? So that means they'll be very good. But our plan is at least by end of this year to train 500 Indian Malaysians to become TikTok entrepreneurs. TikTok entrepreneurs. And some have already started. Now, it is this kind of leadership that the chambers should be looking at. To go into new pathways. Like, can you imagine? It's an Indian product. It comes from India, Himalayan mountains. Right? It's supposed to be good. And the Malays are selling it. I'm like, I don't understand what is going on. Look at how far they are advanced. I'll give you another example. Late last year, there was a TikTok competition. There was a TikTok training and competition. And 500 people came for that program. 500 people came for that TikTok program. Of the 500 people, there were only 3 non-Malays. 1 Tamilian, 1 Indian Muslim, and 1 Chinese. The rest were all Malays. All Malays. And they were being told how to now cite themselves, develop new technology, and their motivation is government is going to give, at that time, some kind of increment in salary. And that will be about 3 to 4 or 5 billion new money in the economy. And they were being trained how to capture the 3 to 5 billion. See how the Malays have gone. See where the Malays have gone, and look at where we are. 1.3%. 1.3%. Okay? So therefore, my friends, we really have to work harder. We might be in textiles, we might be in restaurants, we might be in what is generally considered a sunset industry. Most of our Indians are in sunset industries. They're good industries, I'm not saying it's bad, but they are sunset industries. We need to move into a platform economy, which actually means that we have to think differently, do things differently, and sell products very differently. So this is the challenge that we have. And see how the Malays have gone and how the Chinese have gone. So in one of our training, we brought a Chinese man to explain to our participants how the Chinese think when it comes to selling products. So he got this guy and he said that he imports his barang from China, and he makes 1.5 million a month. Can you repeat that? 1.5 million a month. And who are his customers? Malays and Chinese. So he's asking all our friends that came for the all who participated, hey, how come you guys are not in the TikTok? How come you guys are not there? That's where all the sales are happening. So again, my friends, let me go back to the issue that I raised, the question I raised. Are we organized to make profits? So you can see where the society is going, where the Malay community is going. And this is a young Malay community, by the way. Young Malay community. When I saw that they were selling silicate to everybody who wants to buy, and I said, my God, look at where they are and where we are. It's kind of upsetting. But that's the reality of it all. That's the reality of it all. I just would like to share with you another project that the SICCI is also looking at. This is to help develop what we call cybersecurity experts. Cybersecurity experts. We are already concluding our discussion with a very multinational corporation to train Indians on cybersecurity. The discussions are almost concluded, and we will start the program in mid-June or early July. And this program will train 30 people. And after the training takes place, this big international organization will give you a certificate, and you can use that certificate to find a cybersecurity job. Or you can do once you have that, you also can do other international standardization exams and so on and so forth. But the point is this: we need to train Indians in the modern world, for the modern world, for the new world, for the digital world, right? And therefore, we have to make that move. You and I, Nivas and his team, has to start looking at those kinds of issues. We need Indian cyber security people. This is what we do. And this entire program, if you go outside, I think it's about 8,000 ringgit or 9,000 ringgit, but we will give it for free. We will give it for free. And therefore, my friends, I think it's important that we work together, that we have to find ways of organizing ourselves to make profits. This is the key. And we have to look at new industries, platform economies, platform businesses. That is where the young people are looking at. Look at the numbers for TikTok. I mean, 3/4 of the population is on TikTok. And the Gen Z, 19 to 25, 35% are on TikTok. And between 26 and 32 years of age, 29% are on TikTok. Which means that you have a ready market. It's just that you have to turn yourself, think differently, develop new skills, develop new ideas in order to attract that business to come to you. The Malays have gone very far. The Chinese are also there, but we need to catch up. So my friends, I think this is a challenge for all of us, and I think the Selangor Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry has an important role to play. You need to be the leaders, though. You need to be the leaders. I mean, Nivas and his team have to be the leaders to make that change. Possible? Yes. To make that possible and say, we also can do it, and we can do it better. So my friend, this is a challenge that we have to become game changers. We need to game change so that we can move forward, so that we are not 5% weak, but we are 5% strong. This is the challenge that we have. And the last point that I want to make involves the 13 Malaysia Plan. The 13 Malaysia Plan will come in force. I think it will be debated in Parliament sometime in September. There will be a sitting of Parliament that will debate the 13 Malaysia Plan. I'm not sure whether there's internal discussions at the chambers on the 13 Malaysia Plan and what is the expectations of the business community, the Indian business community, for the third leadership plan. I think this is quite important. We have had some discussions with the Ministry of Economy, but I think no can be very helpful. And I think this is where all of us have to put our minds together to get support, to push for new ideas, and to push for new ways of doing things, so that this community, your chambers will be the leaders of that 5%. So a lot depends on you. A lot depends on the way you do things, because you have a special role. Because you are now, the business community is seen as a group that actually is organized ideas and so on. So you take the leadership so that a 5% will be strong. Can it be strong? Yes. In 5 years, that's what the challenge is. And 5 years, even if you're not listening to anything that I've said, in 5 years, you will remember and say, hey, this guy came and said, do you want a 5% strong or do you want a 5% weak? And I think the answer is we all want a 5% strong. And it's not going to come from the heaven. It's not going to come from the sky. We have to make it happen. The chambers has to make it happen. The chambers has to give the leadership so that the Indian community can move from 1.3% to 2% to 3% and become leaders of the country, not somebody as followers. On that note and on that trust and hope, I wish you the very best in today's meeting. And thanks for the kind words and the thanks for the invitation as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the enthusiastic speech, Mr. Charles Santiago. The request sir, to remain on the stage for a while. With due respect, may I now invite Mr. Nivas Raghavan to present a token of appreciation accompanied by the ex-host to our esteemed guest of honor, Yang Berbahagia Mr. Charles Santiago, as a gesture of thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now be taking a brief turnover break to facilitate the necessary arrangements for the next session. Kindly note that
அண்ட் இப்போ நீங்கள் டிக்டாக் நம்ம டிக்டாக் அப்போ வந்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணால் கூட 2 hours 3 hours ஓடிட்டு இருப்போம் அதில், ரைட்? ஸோ அதனால் வந்து டிக்டாக் மூலியமாக தான் வந்து நம்ம வந்து விற்கிறதோ வாங்குறதோ அங்கே தான் இருக்குது. அங்கே தான் வந்து நம்ம சமுதாயத்தின் வெல்த்னு சொல்கிறாங்கல்ல, அங்கே தான் வந்து ஃபியூச்சர்.
KLSICCI நீங்கள் என்ன எதிர்பார்க்குறீங்க?
ஒன்று வந்துங்க, ஐ திங்க் இந்தியன் இது ஒன்று வந்து அவங்க வந்து ரிசர்ச் டீம் உருவாக்கணும். ஸோ ரிசர்ச் டீம் வந்து அவங்க வந்து பிஸ்னஸ்மேன் அசோசியேஷன் பாருங்கள், விமன் அண்ட் மென் அசோசியேஷன். ஸோ அதனால் வந்து அவங்க அட்வைஸ் பண்ணலாம், ஓகே இது வந்து புது டெவலப்மெண்ட் வந்துருச்சு, க்ரீன் டெக்னாலஜியில் வந்து இது பண்ணுறாங்க, சோலார் பேனல் இப்படிலாம் போயிட்டு இருக்கு. ஸோ அந்த டைரக்ஷன் கொடுக்கலாம் அவங்களுக்கு. ரெண்டாவது வந்து அவங்களும் வந்து ஃபண்ட்ஸ், இந்தியன்ஸ் வந்து பிரச்சனை வந்து ஃபண்ட்ஸ் போதுமான சப்போர்ட் இல்லை. அதனால அரசாங்கம் வந்து சப்போர்ட் பண்ணலாம், ப்ரைவேட் செக்டரும் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணலாம். ஸோ இப்போ வந்து நம்ம பார்த்தா கூட ஓவர்சீஸ் எல்லா ப்ராஜெக்ட் வந்து ஓவர்சீஸில் காசு இது சார்ஜ் பண்ணலாம். ஸோ க்ரீன் டெக்னாலஜி, digital economy, platform economy, this is the future. So we have to embrace the future. And the future number one.
Thank you.
அது வந்துங்க இப்போ வந்து நம்ம தனிமுறையாக வந்து நம்ம வந்து சில கம்பெனி பேசியிருக்கோம். ஒரு கம்பெனி வந்து நம்ம ரிலீவ் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. அவங்க வந்து இலவசமாக வந்து அவங்க வந்து 30 பேர் இந்தியர்களுக்கு வந்து அவங்க ட்ரெயின் பண்ணுவாங்க சர்வீஸ். ஸோ இந்த டீட்டெயில்ஸ்லாம் அதை ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணிடுச்சு. இப்போ வந்து அதை அட்வர்டைஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. ஸோ அதை அட்வர்டைஸ் பண்ணாலே வந்து நம்ம இந்தியர்கள் வந்து அவங்க அப்ளை பண்ணிவிட்டு இலவசமாக வந்து அவங்க தருவாங்க. ஆனால் ஒரு கண்டிஷன் இருக்குது, அவங்க வந்து 1000 ரூபாய் வைக்கணும். ஏன்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா வந்து அப்புறம் 1000 ரூபாய் வைக்காட்டினா வந்து காசு வர மாட்டாங்க. ஸோ அதனால் வந்து ஆனால் ப்ரோக்ராம் முடிஞ்சோடனே வந்து அந்த 1000 ரூபாய் திரும்பி கொடுப்பாங்க, அவ்வளோதான். ஸோ ஃபாஸ்ட் பார்ட்டிசிபேஷன் தான். SICCI ஒரு புது ஸ்தாபனங்கள், தனியார் ப்ரைவேட் எஃபர்ட். அது வந்து ஒன்ஸ் அது ஃப்ளை ரெடி ஆச்சுன்னா புஷ் ஃப்ளை ஆகும். ஜூலையில் ஆரம்பிச்சு. பிகாஸ் அது பெரிய கிளாஸ் முடியாதுங்க, இது வந்து ஸ்மால் கிளாஸ் தான். நம்ம ஆக்சுவலி வந்து நம்ம ஏன் அப்படி பார்த்தோமா வந்துங்க, இப்போ இந்தியன் ட்ராப் அவுட் 45 ட்ராப் அவுட் ரொம்ப ஹையாக இருக்குது. ஸோ இந்தியர்கள் வந்து 3 ட்ராப் அவுட் இருக்குது. ஒன்று வந்து பெற்றோர்கள் வந்து அவங்க பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு வந்து பஸ் ஃபேர் இல்லாததுனால அவங்க ஸ்கூல் பிள்ளைங்களை அனுப்புறதில்லை, அது ஒன்று. ரெண்டாவது வந்து ஃபார்ம் 2ல் வந்து அவங்க ட்ராப் அவுட் பண்ணுறாங்க, ஏன்னா இங்கிலீஷ் மில்லையில் வந்து அவங்களுக்கு கொஞ்சம் பிரச்சனை இருக்குது, அவங்க ட்ராப் அவுட் பண்ணுறாங்க. ஆனால் மூணாவது பிக்கஸ்ட் ட்ராப் அவுட் ஃபார்ம் 5 இஸ் டூ ஹை. ஸோ அதனால் வந்து சமுதாயத்தின் ஃபியூச்சர் வந்து ட்ரபிள். ஸோ அதனால் வந்து நான் அவங்களுக்கு வந்து எப்படி இப்போ ஒரு டிஜிட்டல் ப்ரோக்ராம் ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுன்னு அவங்கள போய் ஒரு ஆலோசனை மாதிரி இது பண்ணோம். அவங்க சொல்கிறாங்க வந்து சைபர் செக்யூரிட்டி வந்து அது கொஞ்சம் மேத்ஸ் இருக்கணும், ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் இருக்குது, அதனால ஒரு கிராஜுவேட் இது பண்ணுறாங்க. ஸோ பரவாயில்ல, ரொம்ப இந்தியர்கள் வந்து யூனிவர்சிட்டி போயிட்டு வேலை இல்லாமல் இருக்காங்க. ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு வந்து அவங்க கலந்துக்கலாம். பட் திஸ் வில் அட்வர்டைஸ் இட்.
செலக்ஷன் வயசு திட்டங்கள் நிறைய நீங்கள் எடுத்துட்டு வரீங்க. ஸோ அதை டெவலப் பண்ண எப்படி இருக்கணும்?
அதாவது ஒய்பி சொன்ன மாதிரி இன்றைக்கு நாங்கள் செய்யக்கூடிய செயல் திட்டங்கள்லாம் வந்து இன்டூ டிஜிட்டலைசேஷன், அதாவது நம்மளுடைய தொழில்நுட்பம் மூலியமாக வியாபாரம் செய்யறதுக்கான பயிற்சிகள். அதாவது இன்றைக்கு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா டிஜிட்டல் மினிஸ்ட்ரி மூலியமாக இன்றைக்கு நிறைய திட்டங்கள் செய்கிறோம். ஒரு 6 செஷன்ஸ் வந்து டிஜிட்டல் மினிஸ்ட்ரி சப்போர்ட் பண்ணதுன்னு ஸ்பான்சர்ஷிப் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. ஸோ முதல் திட்டமாக அன்றைக்கு வந்து போன வாரம் வந்து AI சம்மந்தமாக சைபர் செக்யூரிட்டி சம்மந்தமான ஒரு திட்டம் செஞ்சோம். ஏறக்குறைய 100 பேர் மேலே வந்திருந்தாங்க. ஸோ இது தவிர்த்து மற்றபடி அடுத்த 5 பயிற்சிகளில் வந்து பார்த்திங்கன்னா டிஜிட்டலைசேஷன், ஒய்பி சொன்ன மாதிரி இன்றைக்கு டிக்டாக் மார்க்கெட்டிங், டிக்டாக்ல வந்து எப்படி வந்து அவங்களுடைய வியாபாரத்தை வந்து கொண்டு போய் ஒரு ஸ்ட்ராங், அதாவது பலமாக ஒரு வியாபாரத்தை வந்து இன்றைக்கு டிக்டாக் மூலியமாக தான் வந்து செயல்படுத்தலாம், அந்த வருமானங்கள் வந்து அதிகரிக்கலாம் அங்கே. ஸோ அது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் ஒய்பி இன்றைக்கு சொன்ன மாதிரி இந்த ப்ராஃபிட், ஹாமச் ப்ராஃபிட், அதாவது எவ்வளோ லாபம் ஒரு வியாபாரம் செய்ய முடியும், நம்ம அந்த வியாபாரம் செய்கிற அந்த ஸ்கில்ஸ் இருக்கிறதா. ஸோ இதுக்கு பிறகு ஒய்பி சொன்ன மாதிரி ஒரு ரிசர்ச் சென்டர், அதாவது சோஷியோ எக்கனாமிக் ரிசர்ச் சென்டர்னு ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட அந்த பேர் வந்து ஒய்பி சொன்ன மாதிரி இன்றைக்கு நாங்கள் ஆண்டு கூட்டத்தில் பேசிக்கொண்டு அது வந்து ஒரு நல்லபடியாக வந்து அந்த செயல் திட்டத்தை கொண்டு போய் அடுத்தது நம்ம வந்து அதில் அமல்படுத்தலாம்னு இன்றைக்கு அந்த ஆலோசனை எடுத்துக்கொண்டு இன்றைக்கி கலந்து பேசிக்கிட்டு ஒரு முடிவு எடுக்கலாம்னு பார்க்குறோம். ஸோ நாங்கள் செய்து கொண்ட இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம்கள்லாம் வந்து இன்றைக்கு சிறு
குறு நடுத்தர வியாபாரிகள் வந்ததில் நிறைய பேர் பலன் அடைந்திருக்காங்க. ஸோ இதுக்கப்புறம் 13ஆம் மலேசியா திட்டங்கள் வந்து அடுத்த வருடம் ஆரம்பிக்கும் போது அடுத்த 5 வருடத்துக்கு போன வருஷம் வந்து நாங்கள் நிறையா எங்களுடைய பாயிண்ட்ஸ் வந்து எக்கனாமிக் மினிஸ்ட்ரி ஆஃப் ஃபைனான்ஸ் மற்ற அரசாங்க அமைச்சுகளுக்கெல்லாம் கொடுத்துருந்தோம். எங்களுடைய மெமரண்டம் KLSICCI மூலியமாகவும் எங்களுடைய நேஷனல் பாடி அதாவது ஃபெடரேஷன் ஆஃப் நேஷனல் பிஸ்னஸ் மூலியமாகவும் கொடுத்துருந்தோம். அதை வந்து இன்றைக்கு காலகட்டத்தில் வந்து ஒன்றும் என்கேஜ்மெண்ட் போய்கொண்டு இருக்கிறது. ஸோ இதெல்லாம் வந்து YB சொன்ன மாதிரி நம்ம அரசாங்கப்பட்ட இன்னும் நிறையா என்கேஜ்மெண்ட் நடத்தி கொண்டு நம்மளுடைய கொடுத்த அந்த பாயிண்ட்ஸ்லாம் வந்து செயல் திட்டங்களாக 13ஆம் மலேசியா திட்டத்தில் வந்து அமல்படுத்தணும்னு வேண்டிக் கொள்கிறோம்.
சொன்னீங்க ப்ராஸ்பெக்ட் ஆஃப் ஏஷியன் ஆசியன் அண்ட் இந்தியன் பிஸ்னஸ். ஸோ அது மூலமாக KLSICCI வந்து என்ன மாதிரி ப்ராஸ்பெக்ட் இருக்கு?
அதாவது இன்றைக்கு ஆசியானில் வந்து 10 நாடுகள் இருக்குது. இந்தியா வந்து ஒரு பெரிய நாடு. ஸோ இந்தியாவும் ஆசியாவும் இணைந்து இன்றைக்கு ஒரு வர்த்தக ஒப்பந்தங்கள் இருக்கிறது, ட்ரேட் எக்ரிமெண்ட். அது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் மலேசியாவுக்கும் இந்தியாவுக்கும் ஒரு ட்ரேட் எக்ரிமெண்ட் இருக்கிறது. இந்த 2 ட்ரேட் எக்ரிமெண்ட் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு 10 வருடங்கள் முன்பதாக வந்து சைன் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. ஆனால் நம்மளுடைய இந்திய வர்த்தகர்கள் வந்து அது வந்து சரியாக வந்து பெனிஃபிட் ஆக மாட்டுறாங்க. ஸோ ஆனால் சைனா அண்ட் மலேசியாவுடைய வர்த்தக ஸ்டாட்டிஸ்டிக்ஸ் வந்து அதிகரிக்கிறது. ஆனால் இந்தியா மலேசியாவுக்குள்ளே ஆசியன் இந்தியாவுக்குள்ளே வந்து இன்னும் நிறைய இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட் பண்ணலாம், நிறைய வாய்ப்புகள் இருக்கிறது. ஸோ இந்த வருடம் ஆசியான் மலேசியா முதல் தடவை ரொம்ப நாளுக்கு பிறகு ஹோஸ்டாக இருக்கிறதுனால இந்த AIBC நான் வந்து ஒரு ஆல்டர்னேட் சேர்மனாக நியமிச்சிருக்காங்க அமைச்சர் தங்கு ஜாஃபர். ஸோ என்னுடைய பொறுப்பு மூலியமாக KLSICCI மூலியமாக அந்த ரீஜனல் லெவலில் வந்து எப்படி வர்த்தகத்தை இன்னும் மேம்படுத்தலாம், வாய்ப்புகள் நிறையா பேருக்கு வந்து விழிப்புணர்வை கொடுத்து விட்டு அவங்களுக்கு அந்த வாய்ப்புகள் வந்து தேடி கொடுக்கலாம்னு ஒரு திட்டங்கள் இருக்கிறது.
இந்தியர்களுக்கு மட்டும் இல்லை, பொதுவாக
நாங்கள் வந்து பொதுவாக தான் செய்ய முடியும். ஏன்னா இந்தியர்கள் நம்ம வந்து என்கரேஜ் பண்ணலாம் இதில் வந்து இந்த பெனிஃபிட்ஸை வந்து எடுக்கிற மாதிரி.
அப்புறம் வந்து இந்த பாபு ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் இந்த தொழில்துறைகள் வந்து ஒர்க்கர்ஸ் இஷ்யூ இருந்துச்சு.
2023 நம்மளுடைய பிரதமர் 7500 கோத்தா வந்து இந்த 3 முக்கியமான செக்டர்ஸ் கொடுத்துருந்தாங்க, பாபர், டெக்ஸ்டைல்ஸ், கோல்ட்ஸ்மித். இன்று வரைக்கும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஏறக்குறைய வந்து ஒரு 4500 கோட்டாஸ் வந்து நம்மளுடைய இந்தியர்கள் வந்து அப்ளை பண்ணி எடுத்துட்டாங்க. பாக்கி 3000 ஒரு கோட்டாஸ் இருக்கிறது. ஆனால் ஏற்கனவே வந்து KPDN அதாவது ஏஜென்சி காவல்ஸ்லேயே இந்த பொறுப்புக்கெல்லாம் ஏஜென்சி காவல்ஸ்லேயே வந்து KPDN டொமஸ்டிக் ட்ரேட் மினிஸ்ட்ரி அண்ட் காஸ்ட் ஆஃப் லிவிங் அவங்க வந்து என்ன சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க, ஒவ்வொரு செக்டருக்கும் வந்து 2500 கொடுக்கணும்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. ஆனால் இன்றைக்கு வந்து பாபர்ஸ் மட்டும் ஒரு 3000 மேலே கொடுத்துருக்காங்க அப்ரூவல். ஸோ பாபருக்கு வந்து கொஞ்சம் நிப்பாட்டியிருக்காங்க. டெக்ஸ்டைல்ஸ் அண்ட் கோல்ட்ஸ்மித்தை வந்து ஓப்பன் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. நாங்கள் இப்போ என்ன செய்கிறோம்னா மினிஸ்டர்கிட்ட பேசி அந்த டெக்ஸ்டைல்ஸ் அண்ட் கோல்ட்ஸ்மித் வந்து 2500 மேலே இருக்கவே மாட்டாங்க அது வரைக்கும். ஸோ அங்கே இருந்து அந்த கோட்டா வந்து கொஞ்சம் பாபருக்கு கொடுக்கலாம்னு டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்கோம், என்கேஜ்மெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். லாஸ்ட் வீக் தான் மீட்டிங் முடிஞ்சு விட்டது. அடுத்த வாரம் வந்து மேபி ஒரு நல்ல செய்திகள் வந்து இந்த பாபர் செக்டருக்கு வந்து வரலாம். இந்த 3 செக்டர் மட்டும் இல்லாமல் ஒரு வாரம் முன்பதாக அரசாங்கம் வந்து ஒரு முக்கியமான சர்வீசஸ் செக்டர்ஸ்க்கு வந்து ஓப்பன் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. ஹோட்டல், ஸ்பா, மசாஜ் சென்டர்ஸ்லாம், செக்யூரிட்டி சர்வீசஸ்க்கெலாம். அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து சர்வீசஸ் செக்டர்ஸ் வந்து ரீசைக்கிளிங், மெட்டல், அக்ரிகல்ச்சர், ரெஸ்டாரண்ட்க்கு வந்து கந்தியான் கொடுத்துருந்தாங்க. ஆனால் ஒரு 3 நாட்களுக்குள்ளே அதை வந்து வாபஸ் வாங்கி மற்ற செக்டர்ஸ் தான் கொடுத்துருந்தாங்க. ஸோ இந்த சடன் யூட்டர்ன் வந்து நாங்கள் ரொம்ப ஒரு கஷ்டமான ஒரு டிசப்பாயின்மெண்ட் தெரிவிக்கிறோம். ஏன்னா இதில் வந்து எல்லா ட்ரேட் அசோசியேஷன் அதாவது இந்தியர்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மிம்தான் ஒன்று இருக்குது ட்ரேட் அசோசியேஷன், அப்புறம் மைக்கி, KLSICCI, அப்புறம் மற்ற ட்ரேட் அசோசியேஷன் ப்ரீமாஸ், இவங்கெல்லாம் சேர்ந்து தான் வந்து அரசாங்கம் நாடி நம்ம வந்து இந்த மாதிரி செக்டர்ஸ்க்கெலாம் ஓப்பன் பண்ணி தான் ஆகணும். ஏன்னா கிரிட்டிக்கல் செக்டர்ஸ்னு எஸ்பெஷலி ரெஸ்டாரண்ட், மெட்டல் ட்ரேடர்ஸ், மேனுஃபேக்சரிங், அக்ரிகல்ச்சர், இந்த செக்டர்ஸ்லாம் வந்து சர்வீசஸ், கிளீனிங் சர்வீஸ், இந்த செக்டர்ஸ்லாம் வந்து இந்தியர்கள் நிறைய பேர் இருக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ இந்த செக்டர்ஸ்லாம் வந்து லோக்கல் வந்து வரமாட்டாங்க. ஏன்னா இந்த 4D செக்டர்ஸ், ஏன்னா 4Dனா டர்ட்டி, டிஃபிகல்ட், டிமீனிங் அண்ட் ஆல்சோ டேஞ்சரஸ். இந்த 4Dனால லோக்கலுக்கு வர்றது ரொம்ப குறைவு. நம்ம வெளிநாட்டு அந்நியர்களுக்கு தான் வந்து டிபெண்ட் பண்ணி ஆகணும். அவங்களோட பிஸ்னஸ் வந்து பல மில்லியன் முதலீடு போட்டிருக்காங்க. ஸோ இந்த செக்டர்ஸ்லாம் வந்து அரசாங்கம் மறுபடியும் ஓப்பன் பண்ணி ஒரு டார்கெட்டட் அப்ரோச் வர்த்தக சங்கம் கூட ட்ரேட் அசோசியேஷன் கூட ஒர்க் பண்ணி எந்த கம்பெனி ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணியிருக்கோ கணக்காக வழிமுறைகள் இருக்கிறதோ அந்த கம்பெனிக்கு மட்டும் தேவைப்பட்ட ஒர்க்கர்ஸுக்கு கொடுத்து தான் ஆகணும்னு நாங்கள் வந்து ட்ரேட் அசோசியேஷன் கூடயும் மற்ற சேம்பர்ஸ் கூடயும் சேர்ந்து அரசாங்கம் நாடி பேசி இதை வந்து கண்டிப்பாக அப்ரூவல் வாங்கணும்னு நம்புகிறோம். தேங்க்யூ சார்.
Thank you.